No, find money first before you find God. Money first. God this guy, we don't know where God is. We don't find him. Which one is money first? Bro, you are useless without money.
There are two angles I want to address this video from. You see, I don't disagree with what this guy is saying, but I feel like he's talking from a flawed concept, and it is the concept that we've painted, most especially in Africa, that for you to find God, you need to go to church. So what you've seen that we've painted in Africa is the idea of religion. So they've made you believe that without religion, you cannot find God. That is a flawed concept that he is currently talking from. But I want you to think about it deeply, because finding God and chasing financial success are not mutually exclusive. When I watched this video, the first thing I told my babe was, this kind of ideology comes from the Christian background, where they mostly glorified the fact that you should not chase wealth. You should focus on only God. You should focus only on God. And they are the one pushing this narrative to make people misunderstand the whole point of chasing God in the first place. Because chasing God and chasing financial success does not have to be mutually exclusive. I told her, I said, in your pursuit for financial success, you will find God there. You don't necessarily need to go to church to find God. A normal Christian will come out and tell me now, oh, but they said, do not forsake the gathering of brethren. They said, do not forsake the gathering of brethren. The gathering of brethren. The gathering of brethren. Let me use pidgin. The place where brothers or brotherhood gather. I use brotherhood as a gender neutral phrase. So, because of this whole narrative that Christians are pushing, the love of money is the root of all evil, this blah, 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 and stuff like that, it has made people to believe that you either chase God or you chase financial success. So you hear him say in the video that, na poor people full church. And it is because when rich people come to church, there is nobody that is preaching something that rhymes with the mindset they've cultivated out of attaining financial liberation, financial success. Nobody is talking about that part of the whole thing. Everything you are saying is you should leave money and focus on God. Leave money and focus on God. But we are still going to pay offering. And those are the kind of flawed concepts that make people like this. I was talking to this guy one other time, and I was telling him that Christian as a religion nowadays are pushing people farther from God than even bringing them closer to God. Because we are in the Gen Z generation. Everybody have come to discover that you need money in this world. But you are still stuck on the Christianity that thinks that you should not pursue money at all. Do you get my point? You are still stuck on that Christianity, and because money is inevitable, people are now saying, okay, I'm going to push God one side. But the truth is, if you should dig deep, even this guy that is talking, if you should dig deep into your financial success, you will discover that there is God there. You don't need to go to church before you find God. You can find God if you're a construction worker. You can find God if you are a business owner. You can find God even in your 9 to 5. God is there. But your inability to understand the fact that God is there is what might put you in harm's way. Because if you look at it deep down, you will discover that God is there. You just haven't looked yet. And that's beside the point that a lot of people that do not forsake that gathering of brethren don't even know God. Because the whole point of finding God is to know him. And you can know him through whatever it is you are doing. The same God that said, I will bless the work of your hands, is not a stupid God. So it means for him to even bless you, you need to have work of your hand. You understand me now? Now, where I would say he is entirely wrong is where he said, you are useless without money. I'm a very big person on identity. And if you look at people that have forged their identity around money, you discover that it is harder for you to bounce back. I'm going to talk more broad on this in a different video, but it is harder for you to bounce back when you let the idea of wealth only to be a huge part of your identity. Because life is definitely going to life. There will be a point in your life where you will face a retracement. I call it retracement. Only people in trading understand what I'm trying to say. Because if there is an uptrend, and every uptrend has a retracement before it continues going up. So if you are in a retracement, it will be harder for you to bounce back because you feel like your life is crumbling. because a huge part of your identity is that you are useless without money. So the minute there is a decline in your finance, you begin to lose yourself. You begin to feel like you are losing your identity. You go into defensive mode. And the moment you enter defensive mode, you stop taking risks. This is forex knowledge. Any basic forex trader understands this. Even if you don't need to be a forex trader, any basic trader understands this. That the moment you see a retracement and you go into defensive mode and you take out your trade, you are bound to lose. So be careful how you build your identity around wealth. A proper identity around this kind of thing would be that I am somebody that no matter what happens, I am going to always have money. So that is different from you are useless without money. Because when you build an identity that you are somebody, so you are yourself first without that money. So that identity, when your finance start to decline, first thing your identity remembers is that you are yourself. Nothing has changed about you. But when you say you are useless without money, you are putting money at the forefront before yourself. So your identity is money first. And if you face any form of retracement, it is easier for you to crumble because your brain naturally tries to protect your identity. It is the same reason why people guard beliefs, like their life depends on it. It's the same reason why people will argue about a certain club that knows nothing about them. It's the same reason why people will argue to be sure that they are right, because they've built an identity around being right, that it's almost as if you are threatening their life if you want to rip that off them. So if you build an identity around money first, that you are useless without money, you are painting a picture that makes it impossible for you to come out of it when your finance start to go down. You go to any joint, you see people that used to be big. You see them there drinking, telling you about, nothing lasts forever. Myself, then they make big deals, 25 million. My one container just lost. And before you know, everything began to lose. Then you see them immediately tied to spiritual problems. After I go that visit to my village. But in reality, you faced one loss. Just one loss. But because your identity has been built around wealth, that one loss now feels like a threat to your life, that you immediately go on defensive position. And the moment you enter defensive position, it is impossible for you to win. You need to take risk to win. You don't take risk while being defensive. You need to be on offense, constantly be on offense for you to chase financial success. So the moment your identity is threatened and you go on defensive, you know that it is impossible for you to go back up. I saw people in the comments agreeing that you are useless. Why I believe that money is a very, very important thing. I've been looking for money since I was 14 years old. So I am a huge believer in the fact that you need wealth, but I am a huge believer in the fact that you are yourself first. You are yourself before money. So money is a tool. A mechanic now that does not have spanner needs to look for how to buy spanner. He does not think that he is any less of a mechanic simply because he does not have that spanner. He looks for where to borrow the spanner. He looks for where to do this, where to do that, just so that he can get his work done. Because he is a mechanic first before that tool that he uses to do his work. So build an identity that guarantees success, but is not solely dependent on success. Build an identity where success is a plus, not an entirety. And it is impossible for you to lose the moment you build that identity. My name is Abraham Bamidele, and you'll be seeing more of me on here. Cheers.